Hello, I'm Wayne Lack and I'm doing June 2013 Core 3 for AQA and we're on question 7 now. According to the examiner's reports, overall it was done okay, but there's quite a lot of confusion. In all three parts, it's A, B and C. A bit of confusion in all parts, but overall done well. So, you know, there's an equal chance really that you're one of the ones that struggled in at least one of the questions. And again, there's an equal chance that you know exactly what you're doing. But let's go to the board, let's go through question 7. Okay, so this is question 7. The diagram shows y equals f of x. Now I don't know what f of x is, we just know it's a function of x. Now we don't know the actual formula, but it looks like this. It's going through 6 here and 4 here, and it sort of curves over and then it's actually increasing here, in case you can't see it properly in my picture. Part A says sketch y equals minus f of 3x, indicating the coordinates. So it's a transformation question. There's a minus in front of the f of x and there's a 3 in front of the x. So what does that mean? Well, a minus in front of the f of x means that the whole thing is reflected through the x-axis. So it's that all upside down. Okay, so it will go through 6 and go backwards through 4. But there's also this 3 in front of the x, which means that every value of x is stretched by a scale factor of a third. So rather than just going through 6 and coming back here, it will in fact actually go through a 2. So it actually looks like that. It still goes through minus 4, but this x coordinate has been affected so that it goes through 2 rather than 6. If it was just minus, it would have gone through 6. And so it just looks like that. It's just upside down and slightly bunched together in the x-axis because of this 3, so it's a stretched scale factor of a third. Part B, sketch y equals f of mod x, indicating the coordinates. So, in this one, the mod is just of the x, which seems to have tripped up quite a few of the candidates when they actually took this exam in June 2013. Modulus of x, you normally reflect it, so it would sort of go up here rather than going below the x-axis, but it's the mod of just x. So that none of this part will have changed because this is all positive values of x anyway, so it doesn't matter. So that would still be 6, that would still be 4, but it's on this side where there's negative values of x. Because those negative values of x are in this modulus, they then become essentially positive values of x in the when you plonk them into f of x, whatever f of x may come to. Because it's mod of x, when it becomes negative, that's when it changes. So if we say for a second that this point here is 1, okay, I'm not drawing this very accurately, and this wouldn't be on your graph, it's just a way of thinking about it. If this point was 1, when x equals 1, just say for a second y equals 3. It almost certainly doesn't, I'm just making that up. But if at the point x equals 1, y did equal 3, then at the point x equals minus 1, that minus 1 is in the modulus, so it would be mod of minus 1, which is 1. So it would become 3 again in the y-axis. So what the result would be is it being symmetrical, like this. So it's symmetrical in the y-axis. So like I say, I can't stress enough, this 1 to 3 thing I made up here it could probably completely wrong. If it's right by complete chance. But it's just saying it's going to be symmetrical, whatever it is symmetrical either side. And so it will look a bit like that. Then we go on to part C. Describe the geometrical transformation that maps y equals f of x to y equals f of minus a half x. So there's been a geometrical transformation to f of x, whatever it may be. And you should notice that there's been 2 transformations. It's got a minus in front of the x, but it's also got a half in front of the x. So they're 2 separate transformations. So what do? Well, the negative is a reflection, and because it's inside the bracket, it's a reflection in the y-axis. Okay. Perhaps the opposite to what you'd think, so get to know your transformations. It's inside the bracket, it's near the x, it's in the y-axis that it's reflected. What does the half mean? Well, a number as a coefficient of x means a stretch. The half is the scale factor, but it's not quite scale factor of half like you would perhaps think. it's that's scale factor SF, scale factor 2, and parallel to the x-axis. That's for full marks, and you should sort of get transformations nailed into your head in terms of what they want. When there's a stretch, they want you to say it's a stretch, the scale factor, and parallel to what, and then a reflection in the y-axis. So in terms of marks, there's 2 marks here. This really, that's just core 2 stuff. That's just a transformation of a minus and a 3. There's just a transformation. That's just core 2. This is 3 marks. Because again, it's just a transformation, but it's a core 3 one. It's got the mod, and it does cause some confusion. Some people do reflect it up here, so they don't go under the x-axis like you might think. And down here is a whopping 4 marks. 1 mark for reflection in the y-axis, 1 mark for stretch, 1 mark for scale factor 2, and 1 mark for parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so altogether that's 9 marks in question 7. Hope this was at least a little bit helpful, and I'll see you at question 8.